Chapter 7. John Khumalo. Gertrude's dress, even though she might once have been rich, was dirty and made him ashamed. Although his money was little, he bought her a red dress, also a shirt and a pair of short trousers for the boy. In his pocket was his post office book, and there was £10 there that he and his wife were saving to buy the oven. For that, like any other woman, she had long been wanting to have. To save £10 from a salary of £8 a month takes much patience and time, especially for a priest, who must dress in good black clothes. It was a pity about the £10, but it would sooner or later have to be broken into. Strange that she had saved nothing from her sad employment, which brought in much money, it was said. Gertrude was helping Mrs. Litheby in the house, and he could hear her singing a little. The small boy was playing in the yard. The sun was shining, and even in this great city there were birds singing. But there was Msimangu coming up the street, so Khumalo put aside the letter he was writing to his wife. "Are you ready, my friend?" "Yes, I am ready." They walked up the street, and down another, and up yet another. It was true what they said, that you could go up one street and down another till the end of your days, and never walk the same one twice. "Here is your brother's shop. You see his name. Shall I come with you?" "Yes, I think it would be right." His brother John was sitting there in a chair, talking to two other men. He had grown fat, and sat with his hands on his knees like a chief. His brother he did not recognize, for the light from the street was on the backs of his visitors. "Good morning, my brother." "Good morning, sir." "Good morning, my own brother, son of our mother." John Khumalo looked closely at him, and stood up with a great welcoming smile. "My own brother? Well, well, who can believe? What are you doing in Johannesburg?" Khumalo looked at the visitors. "I came on business," he said. "I am sure my friends will excuse us." The two men rose, and they all said stay well and go well. "Do you know the Reverend Msimangu, my brother?" "Well, well, everybody knows the Reverend Msimangu. Sit down, gentlemen. I think we must have some tea." He went to the door and called into the place behind. "Is your wife Esther well, my brother?" John Khumalo smiled his friendly, knowing smile. "My wife Esther has left me these 10 years, my brother." "And have you married again?" "Well, well, not what the church calls married, you know, but she is a good woman." "You wrote nothing of this, brother." "No, how could I write? You people in Ndocheni do not understand the way life is in Johannesburg. I thought it better not to write." "But I do not understand. How is life different in Johannesburg?" "Well, that is difficult. Do you mind if I speak in English? I can explain these things better in English." "Speak in English then, brother." "You see, I have had an experience here in Johannesburg. It is not like Ndocheni. One must live here to understand it." He looked at his brother. "Something new is happening here," he said. He did not sit down, but began to speak in a strange voice, and he walked about. "Down in Ndocheni, I am nobody, just as you are nobody, my brother. I am subject to the chief, who is an uneducated man. I must show respect to him, but he is an uneducated man. Here in Johannesburg, I am a man of some importance, of some influence. I have my own business, and when it is good, I can make 10, 12 pounds a week." He was not speaking to them. He was speaking to people who were not there. I do not say we are free here. I do not say we are free as men should be. But at least I am free of the chief. At least I am free of an old and foolish man who is nothing but a white man's dog. He is a trick to hold together something that the white man desires to hold together. He smiled his knowing smile, and for a moment spoke directly to his visitors. But it is not being held together, he said. It is breaking apart, your tribal society. It is here in Johannesburg that the new society is being built. Something is happening here, my brother. He paused for a moment. Then he said, I do not wish to offend you, gentlemen, but the church too is like the chief. You must do so and so and so. You are not free to have an experience. A man must be faithful and obedient, and he must obey the laws, whatever the laws may be. It is true that the church speaks with a fine voice, and that the bishops speak against the laws. But this they have been doing for 50 years, and things get worse, not better. His voice grew louder, and he was again talking to people who were not there. Here in Johannesburg, it is the mines, he said. Everything is the mines. These high buildings, this beautiful city with its beautiful houses, all this is built with the gold from the mines. This beautiful hospital for Europeans is built with the gold from the mines. There was a change in his voice. It became louder, like the voice of a bull or a lion. Go to our hospital, he said, and see our people lying on the floors. They lie so close you cannot step over them. But it is they who dig the gold. For 3 shillings a day. We come from our tribes from all over South Africa. We live in the compounds. We must leave our wives and families behind. And when the new gold is found, it is not we who will get more for our labor. It is the white men who will become rich. They go mad when new gold is found. They bring more of us to live in the compounds, to dig under the ground for 3 shillings a day. They do not think, here is a chance to pay more for our labor. They only think, here is a chance to build a bigger house and buy a bigger car. It is important to find gold, they say, for all South Africa is built on the mines. His voice grew deep. It was like thunder that was rolling. But it is not built on the mines, he said. It is built on our backs, on our hard work. Every factory, every theater, every beautiful house, they are all built by us. And what does a chief know about that? But here in Johannesburg, they know. He stopped and was silent. And his visitors were silent also, for there was something in this voice that forced one to be silent. And Stephen Khumalo sat silent, for this was a new brother that he saw. John Khumalo looked at him. The bishop says it is wrong, he said, but he lives in a big house, and his white priests get 4, 5, 6 times what you get, my brother. He sat down and took out a large red cloth to wipe his face. That is my experience, he said. That is why I no longer go to church. And that is why you do not write anymore. Well, it could be the reason. That and your wife Esther? Yes, both perhaps. It is hard to explain in a letter. Our customs are different here. And Msimango said, are there any customs here? John Khumalo looked at him. There is a new thing growing here, he said. Stronger than any church or chief. You will see it one day. And your wife, why did she leave? Well, said John Khumalo with his knowing smile. She did not understand my experience. You mean, said Msimango coldly, that she believed in being faithful? John looked at him suspiciously. Faithful? He said. The anger showed on his great bull neck, and who knows what words might have been spoken, but Stephen Khumalo was quick to interrupt. Here is the tea, my brother. That is kind of you. The woman was not introduced, but took round the tea quietly. When she had gone, Khumalo spoke to his brother. I have listened carefully to you. Much of what you say makes me sad. Partly because of the way you say it, and partly because much of it is true. And now I have something to ask you. But I must tell you first that Gertrude is with me here. She is coming back to Ndocheni. Well, well, I shall not say it is a bad thing. Johannesburg is not a place for a woman alone. I myself tried to persuade her, but she did not agree. So we did not meet anymore. And now I must ask you, where is my son? John looked a little uncomfortable. He took out his cloth again. Well, you have heard, no doubt, he was friendly with my son. Well, you know how these young men are. You see, my son did not agree well with his second mother. Many times I tried to arrange matters, but I did not succeed. So he said he would leave. He had good work, so I did not stop him. And your son went with him. Where, my brother? I do not know exactly, but I heard that they had a room in Alexandra. Now, wait a minute. They were both working for a factory. I remember, the Doornfontein Company in Krause Street. They said their goodbyes and went out into the street. Ha! There you have it, said Msimango. He is a big man in this place, your brother. His shop is always full of men, talking as you have heard. But they say you must hear him at a meeting, he and Dubala. They say he speaks like a bull and makes noises in his throat like a lion, and could make men mad if he wanted to. But for that, they say he has not enough courage, for he would surely be sent to prison. I shall tell you one thing, Msimango continued, because the white man has power. We too want power. But I see only one hope for our country, and that is when white men and black men, desiring neither power nor money, but desiring only the good of their country, come together to work for it. And I have one great fear in my heart, that one day, when the white man has turned to loving, he will find we have turned to hating. But this is not the way to get to Doornfontein, he said. Come, let us hurry. But they were not successful at Doornfontein, although the white men were kind to them and said that when Absalom Khumalo left the factory some 12 months before, he was staying with a Mrs. Ndela at 105 N Street, Sophiatown. So they returned to Sophiatown and indeed found Mrs. Ndela at 105 N Street. But Absalom was not there, she said. But wait, she had had a letter from him asking about the things he had left behind. And while she was searching in a box of papers for the letter, Msimango saw her stop in her search for a moment and look at Khumalo half questioningly and half with pity. At last she found the letter and she showed them the address. With a Mrs. Mkize, 79 23rd Avenue, Alexandra. Then they must drink a cup of tea, and it was dark before they rose to leave, and the husband stepped out with Khumalo into the street. Why did you look at my friend with pity? Asked Msimango of the woman. She dropped her eyes, then raised them again. He is an Umfundisi, she said. I did not like his son's friends, nor did my husband. That is why he left us. I understand you. Was there anything worse than that? No, I saw nothing. but I did not like his friends. Good night, mother. Good night, Mfundisi. Out in the street they said goodbye to the husband and set off back to the mission house. Tomorrow, said Msimango, we go to Alexandra. Khumalo put his hand on his friend's arm. The things are not happy that brought me to Johannesburg, he said, but I have found much pleasure in your company. Huh? Said Msimango. We must hurry or we shall be late for our food.